Hello, good afternoon everybody. So today's webinar is going to be an outlook. We're going to look at an outlook for crude oil and also the natural gas. So we'll start off, we'll add at least a strategy that one can use when they're evaluating the risk involved. So we move straight to our chart. Let's see what we have. Sorry. This is gas, so this is how we start off. We'll look at it from the monthly and then we scale down to a lesser time frame, maybe up to 1 hour, so that we see exactly what we have. We talked about this a few days ago, and one thing before I move on, what I want to say right now before we start is that if I remember, I said some few days ago that anytime you enter into the market, when you have your money in a train in an account, like assuming in this account here you have money in it, your money is safe as long as you do not trigger any trade. But anytime you've entered a trade, that means you decided to risk something. So with every risk, you must come up with a fail mechanism. That is, if price goes against you, there has to be a way that you get out of such trades. And that's one of the most important things when trading. Find a very good fail-safe mechanism, which means if price goes against whatever you expect to be happening, how are you supposed to be handling that one? So that's something you have to come up with your own. Like you may say that if you pick a sell from this point here, assuming you had this level as a resistance, maybe you had it previously as a good resistance, then the price comes to this level again. Yeah. How are you supposed to be handling a sell around this level? Where is supposed to be a stop loss? Ensure that you have a stop loss above the highest high, and then also have a reasonable take profit. This is one thing that you have to take into account when you're trading natural gas and Brent oil. Ensure you have a very good risk management strategy. Whatever your strategy says about trading itself, you must have a proper risk management attached to it. That's when you'll make money. So that's the only time you'll make money. You must have a proper risk management strategy attached to whatever strategy you're using. So we have this. We have this is gas. That's exactly what we expect to be happening this month, because this is just the beginning of the month. We had a level here some few days ago. We had a very good resistance here. This one, it was used as a resistance. If you can remember, we basically mentioned that if price does not clearly break and close above this level, the zone which I've just drawn, this one, we expected it to proceed even lower. So that's exactly what has happened. The price failed to close above the upper level 2.8. The price failed to close above this level here. It's a very good level. It was used as support previously. We had a support, we had a support, a support, a support, and then there's this big move upwards before it came back down and even closed below this, the same zone where we were waiting to buy from. So while the price was below this level, this should be a very good place to sell from. So if you're looking at this chart from the monthly point of view, you ought to have seen that last month was actually a sell. You are supposed to have been looking for a sell from around this level here. If you are trading this during the previous month, you actually ought to have seen that we were having a sell around this point here. And this is still a sell, so don't forget, just remember that the price went up to this level and then engulfed the previous month's candle, closed even below the low of the previous candle. So as we're speaking now, the price looks like it's continuing to the upside. This is just the retracement. And the maximum this retracement must go up to is this level, 2.675. The maximum that the price must pull back up to is 2.675, this one. So if you look at this screen now, this should be a very good place to sell from up to this point. Look for a sell up to 1.738, this level here. So we have a retracement which should not go up to this point, which should go up to 2.75. And on the other hand, we also have this level here. We also have level here, which is a very good support. This one, this is a very good support, you must not forget it. We have this here, this is a very good support. So basically on the monthly chart, these are the levels we want price to get to. We want price to either break below this level, then proceed down up to the next level, or it should retrace back up to 2.675, so that we pick a sell from that point. And with that sell, we should be going only up to 2.231, this level here. So we'll move, let's look at the same chart from a lesser time frame. We have gas. We look at it from the weekly point of view. So far that's the monthly, that's how it looks. So we have weekly. On the weekly we also had a sell. So if you can remember, actually I was looking for a buy on this one, and the main reason being that we had a support here. We had a very good support, and then we also had this. Then I did mention that we had a very good support where the price was here. This was a support, this was a support here, this was a support, and this was a support, and this was a support. So when the price closed above this level here, we are waiting for this retracement so that we can continue buying it even higher. So as it is now, the price actually went below, which means the break which we saw above this level, the entire place, this was just a false breakout. So we expect price, as we're speaking now, to proceed up to this point. Yeah, that's where we expect price to get up to. We expect it to proceed downwards. It should retrace back on the weekly up to this, somewhere around this one, 2.615. Then we're going to proceed downwards up to this point. So on the way downwards, we also have this. We have a support like this, and then we also have this level here. So if price is to pull back upwards, then this will give us the correct place to look for a sell from, and we do expect that sell to take price down like this, then a retracement before we can proceed even lower up to the next levels. So if you look at this chart now, this is what we expect ultimately. We do expect price to proceed down. After, we should bounce off from this level, proceed down, then it should also bounce off and break below the lower one, then proceed lower to 1.687, this level here. So if you were to draw other things on this chart other than the ones which I've drawn, you can see that we're having something that looks like a shape. We also have this. So this is a very good shape which is forming, like the price went down, as you're speaking, it's consolidating in between some shape. And if it goes below the lower trend line, that means we are continuing up to 2.072, which is here. So we also have a level here. These are some of the few things you need to look at when you're trading. You don't have to focus so much on whatever is happening. Ensure that you understand what has been happening previously. Like we had this doesn't look very good, but also it looks like a shape. So like the price went up, it consolidated within some shape, then it broke above, continued up, then broke below. As you're speaking, the price is below some level here. So this should push price up to this point. If you're looking for a sell from the weekly, look for that sell from around this level here. This should be the correct place to look for a sell from. Listen. This should be the correct place to look for a sell from. So we'll move forward. We'll look at the same chart from the daily point of view so that we see exactly what we have on the daily. This is what the daily have for us. And on the daily now, we could be free to use some indicators. I'm going to attach at least one indicator, and that is average directional movement index. Now, from what you can see from the indicator itself, which you're having, the one period 14, ADX period 14, this one, we actually have a sell. And the sell started off clearly when this happened. While the price was here, we actually saw a very good sell. The price proceeded down, it retraced back up, continued down. As we're speaking now, the red line is still above the green one, and then the complete line, which should show us that there's a trend, is still above 25, which means we still have an active trend to the losses. So you need to be looking for sell positions on this chart. This is an active downtrend. The move which you're seeing now to the upper side is just a retracement. So we want to draw our levels on this one, and so that we are able to see exactly what we have. We have this is how the chart looks. We have, I'm going to delete this temporarily because we've already known that there's a trend. So we have a level here, a very good support, this one here, and then we also have this level here, and then we also have this level. I'm going to color this so that we're able to see exactly the areas where if price can get up to, we'll be interested in a trade. This is the place, and then we also have this level here. This should be a very good support, and then we also have this one at the very bottom. So if price successfully pulls back to the upside and even reaches 2.571, then this will give us the correct place to look for a sell from. So that only means one thing, that we are seeing a sell on the monthly, we are seeing the same sell from the weekly, and as we are seeing now from the first, we are also seeing the same sell, which means the sell could be genuine. If price pulls back upwards up to 2.71, then that will give us the correct place to actually look for a sell from. If price can pull back successfully up to this level 2.571 on the daily, then that will give us the correct place to look for a sell from. If you expand this slightly, you'll be able to see that we actually have a support here. This move we are seeing to the upper side should first of all break above this level here. This is also a very significant level. It must first of all break above 2.434, then proceed up to 2.71 up to this level, so that we can look for a sell around this point, 2.571. So we'll move forward the same chart on a lesser time frame. Gas, we'll look at it from the 4 hours point of view. Also, this allowed an indicator. So we have this a buy, like the price is retracing to the upper side. So just notice something. We are seeing a sell. We are seeing a sell on the daily based on the indicator, the ADX indicator. But on the 4 hours, the same ADX indicator is actually showing us a buy, that there's an active trend to the upper side. So what this means, it does not invalidate the sell we are seeing on the daily or weekly or monthly. What it simply means is we are currently retracing to the upper side. So if the move to the lower side is genuine, then the move which you're seeing on the lesser time frame which is upwards is actually just a retracement. So expect it to push price massively to the upper side because of the indicator. We still expect it to move up, and we actually expect it to only take price up to somewhere around this level here. We have a support here, and then we also have this. This is the levels where if price can pull back up to on the 4 hours also, then somewhere around the zone which I've drawn will give us the correct place to sell from. This one. So expect price to move upwards, to move up to this point, so that we can pick a sell when it gets towards 2.649 or 2.570. If price pulls back up to this point, then this should be the correct place to look for a sell from, somewhere in between this range. If it goes above that level, then the next best level is this one, where we had this gap. If price proceeds above this level here, then this should be the correct place to sell from. This will give us the correct place to actually look for a sell from. So we want price to pull back up. Let's proceed up. If it does not break, if it does not break above somewhere around 2.555, then the next best place to sell it from is 2.817 or 2.766. So that should be the end for gas. We want to look at Brent oil. Have it here. So this one also will start from the monthly. The monthly, this is what we have. Actually, if you look at this chart from the monthly, we have a very good resistance trend line. There is this trend line here that runs all the way from the top here, proceeds down. Then we also have this as a support. This has been used severally as a support. This is since 2004. We had a support here. Then the price improved. It plummeted to the lower side. Then it continued up. It came back as a support, up, support. So as it is now, we expect price to come back towards this support, then proceed up to this level, so that we can pick a sell from that trend even lower. This is what possibly could happen. So because the upper trend has not been used for some time, since 2014, it was used as a resistance, but since then the price has not been able to come back to it. So if price is to move downwards, let it go up to this support, then bounce off from this support up to the resistance which we are waiting for a sell from. So basically we'll be waiting for a sell there, and we'll also be waiting for a buy from this point, which means as it is now, we need to find the exact position, whether we are supposed to sell or we are supposed to look for a buy. So we have an immediate trend line here. This is a very good trend line, and then we also have this here. So somehow we're within some shape, like some channel. We are correcting ourselves within some channel. So if price goes below this trend line, let me give it a different appearance. If price closes below this trend line, both the upper one or the lower one, then if it breaks below, we look for a sell. If it breaks above, we look for a buy. So let price break below, retrace back, then you continue short up to 43.17 or 39.15. This level here. So if price can go below this trend line, then this will give us the correct place to look for a sell from. If it breaks below, we wait for retracement, then we pick a sell up to this point. But if it does not go below this level, this will give us the correct place to buy from. If it breaks below, then expect it to proceed even lower. The next level is this one here. So we look at the same chart, lesser time frame, Brent oil, weekly. This is how the weekly chart looks. And on this one, we actually have a trend line, the same one we had on the monthly. This one here, and then we also have another trend line from the top. So as it seems now, this is like some shape which needs to be broken. We want price to either break above the upper trend line or break below the lower trend line, so that we can proceed downwards up to the levels which I'm currently marking on the chart. These are the levels where if price is to proceed downwards, then expect to find some struggling around 52.98, 45.05 or 38.36. If price is to go below this level here, when price goes below this level, the trend line, then we have this before we proceed downwards. Or if it bounces off from the same trend line, I mean this trend line here, then we do expect price to proceed up, then retrace down before we proceed to the upper side. So if we are to go up, These are the levels to look for. If price goes above the upper trend line, then we'll be waiting for price around this level. We also have this level here, and then we also have this one. So either way, there's no clear direction on this one, other than the fact that the price needs to move down towards 57.52. If you look at this chart, just be expecting price to move down, expect price to go up to 57.52. If it goes below, then we expect a break, a retracement, then we proceed up to 38.36, which is here. So we'll move forward to our next, the same chart on a lesser time frame. Brent oil daily. On the daily, there's something interesting. Actually, we're having like a supportive trend and the price is moving within some channel. We have this here. Look at how good, clean this looks. We have there, and then we also have this one here. A very good shape. So if price does not clearly break below this trend line, we expect a bounce to pick a buy. If it breaks below, then we actually expect it to go up to this level here. Price goes below this trend line, then it should proceed down up to 57.20. But if it bounces off from this trend line, then expect it to continue up to the upper trend line, where if it breaks above, we expect it to continue up. If it bounces off from that point, we expect a sell. So as long as the price does not clearly break above or below these trend lines, we'll be trading reversals, a buy from the bottom and a sell from the top, a buy from the bottom and a sell from the top, a buy from the bottom and a sell from the top. And if it breaks above, then expect it to proceed up to the top, which is this. If it breaks below, expect it to proceed up to the bottom, which is 57.20. So the same chart on a lesser time frame, 4 hours. This is what the 4 hours has for us. Let's see. So if you look at the 4 hours, we should have the same trend line which you're having on the daily, because these are almost the same time frames. We have this here, and then we also have this one here. Sorry, we also have this. So this looks really good. If you are looking at this chart, you actually supposed to have bought when the price was here. You also should be waiting and sell when the price is around the upper trend line. So thank you very much. That should bring us to the end of today's outlook. We had a buy here. We are still holding on to that position. We do expect that buy to push price up to around the upper trend line. If it goes above that trend line, expect it to proceed upwards. If it goes below the lower trend line, then we expect it to go ultimately up to this point here. So thank you very much. See you again on Wednesday next week. Bye.